All right, let's move on to our next game. We're back in the arcades, yes. We're playing a game called Depthcharge. Depthcharge? Let's check out some of the artwork for Depthcharge in the arcade. This is by Gremlin, an explosive new game. Depthcharge. Oh, they give you instructions with lines. Look, fire 1 for action. Sink the submarine moving below at different speeds. Fire 2 for challenge. Aim at a higher sub point. Hit harder subs, increases your skill. And then fire 3 for strategy. Launch each depth charge at the right time, right place. Fire 4 for defense. Steer your ship and avoid. Fire 6 for incentive. Beat the high score. Fire 5 for suspense. Add bonus points when time runs out. And you get added to the graveyard. There's an example of the arcade cabinet. We've seen better in the arcades. Pretty simple, but it is upright cabinet. Very standard arcade system. Looks like we got two different buttons, and it looks like we are a one-player game. Just moving left and right and then firing a charge. And this one is programmed only in black and white. Let's see if the manual has anything for us. This is the manual for Depthcharge in the arcade by Gremlin. Operating and owner instructions. Let's see if it has anything for us. It just gives us the warning about the electronic circuitry. And looks like it's about how to set up the arcade system. So no help there. And we have additional versions. Looks like there's just an older version we can play, but we'll play the most recent version from 1977. All right, so we're in September 1977. This is Depthcharge in the arcade by Gremlin. Oh, we got the full artwork. So the marquees at the top. We have our main control panel at the bottom showing us where we move the ship, fire charges, and it even has the instructions. Because if you were in the arcade and you stepped up to this, and we've never seen this before, pretending we have the other arcade systems we've seen, we're like, what is Depthcharge? So this is what we would read on the system. To score, hit submarine with Depthcharge. Move the destroyer with left-hand controls, and launch depth charges with the right-hand controls. Avoid the mines released by enemy subs. If your destroyer is hit, you lose half your score. So it looks like we're controlling the ship on the top. All right, let's see if we have any options, because every arcade cabinet had dip switches in the back. No, there are no other options. Let's see what the controls are. So it's just 1, 2, left, right, and coin 1. Piece of cake. All right, let's put a coin in. Cha-ching. So I am the ship at the top. I'm the black ship at the very top. I'm moving left and moving right. And I should have... Okay, I can shoot a depth charge off the side on the left and right. So they're slowly going down. Oh, looks like I missed that one. But you have to avoid what they shoot to us. So they're trying to hit our ship. So I avoided that one. I'm just going to start throwing a few off the side. How many will it let me shoot? Let's see. But it's a slower paced game because it's a strategy game. And it still let me shoot my depth. Well, I'm shooting the depth charges. They're shooting, I guess it's buoys. What are they called when they send something up? The submarine sends something up to hit the ship. Oh, come on. It's got to hit him. So if you hit the ones at the bottom, yeah, there we go. It looks like if it hits the ones at the bottom, you get more points. And we can hit that one for sure. And yeah, so I don't hear any sound though. They either didn't emulate the sound or it was programmed a different way. But the game works where you are controlling the ship, trying to hit everybody down below all the submarines with your depth charges. And then we have a score. It is racking up the score. And this is one of the first games that is programmed to have higher and higher scores. But my guess is we're not putting our name in. So it may have a high score tablet, but it's not going to record and say, hey, Hefe got the highest score on the system. It may only just say high score, and it may not even save it. Because saving high scores was another big deal. It was very difficult to program that. And I'm finding that this game is a lot of luck, because think of the arcades back in 1977. Carnival games and casino games were much bigger than video games. And so this would be considered a carnival game. Probably ripping people off, trying to get them to put more coins in. Because a lot of this that I'm doing, it takes a long... Oh, there you go. I think I have the game over. Okay, so just got the game over. Let's see if it records my score. Anything? Anything? It does. So it does save the high score, but I didn't put my name in. So it just says the high score was 590. try to beat that. But no, you don't get to put your name of who you are. All right, pretty good for Depthcharge. This is very average at the time, so we're going to give this a 3-star rating. They have an idea, right? It's a little slow pace for arcade, but for the time in 1977, this is average. Oh, that's true. We do hear the sonar as far as sound goes. All right, moving on to our next game. Subhunter. It's the same game, just a different name. If you can tell, the game is played the exact same way, but just released in a different area. Let's see if we have a different manual. No, it's the same thing. It's just released in a different area under a different name. If we play Subhunter, does it play differently? I think this was the Japanese version since Taito distributed it. So we don't get the cool artwork like we did with Depthcharge. Yeah, this most likely is the Japanese version of Depthcharge. So we'll give it a 3-star. Same thing as Depthcharge. All right, moving on to our next game. This is Superbug. We're in 1977 playing every game in order of release. Let's check out Superbug in the arcade. Here's the advertisement flyer for Superbug. In German. Du Todvenen fürs Rasnes Manner. Apologies for all my German viewers. My German is not so good. There's the example of the arcade cabinet and circuit board, and there's our control panel, steering wheel, we got some buttons, and then a gear shifter. And looks like we got different gear. We have 4 gears to choose from, track select and gas for Superbug. But what is it? Is this a true top-down driving game on multiple screens? No way. All right, let's see what the manual gives us more info. This is Superbug by Key Games or Atari. You can see the symbol in the top left. That's the Atari symbol. Here's the owner's manual for Superbug in the arcade. 1977. Table of contents goes through everything because these manuals were how to set up the arcade cabinet and what they are. So here we go. Superbug is a one-player driving game developed by Key Games. And it tells you how it's packaged and what it is and what's involved. But the player's objective is to manipulate the Superbug along the track in a race against time. Player must avoid sliding in oil pools on the road or dropping into sand pits, as well as avoiding other cars while keeping the Superbug within the boundaries of the road. Acceleration is in a real car. Start out anything but first gear and the car accelerates slowly. Once the car is moving, shifting into progressively higher gears increase the speed of the car. If it goes into an oil slick or sand pit, it slides. I'm probably going to be sliding a lot. If the car drives into a boundary or tree or another car, a crash sound will be heard from the game cabinet speaker. We'll see. And the TV monitor will flash. Oh no. What kind of flash? Again, for all my viewers that have epilepsy, please close one eye. A lot of these games were so old, they were not programmed for people sensitive to that. All right. Oh, there you go. We just saw an example on the smaller screen. So let's see what Superbug's like. This is September 1977 playing Superbug in the arcade from Key Games or Atari. All right, let's see what the controls are. Looks like we got our 4 gears, track select, and so it's a one-player game, but lots of controls. We're using 4, 5, 6 buttons to play this one. And let's see if there's any options. If we look in the back of the arcade cabinet, we have, okay, we can change the playtime and language. So this was shipped overseas. We know we saw the advertisement flyer for Germany. So speaking of which, arcade games that were shipped, the whole video game industry began in the arcades. All these arcades that were played in the 70s were shipped all over the world, which influenced developers and players to want to make more video games and play other video games. So because of the arcades is the reason we have a global industry of video games. And it started here with these systems. So someone back then played this and was like, "Oh my gosh, this is amazing! I gotta play more or know more about this stuff." All right, so let's put a coin in. Coin, and so 1 coin, 1 play. I push start. All right, and it looks like we have crazy wonky wheel, and the graphic of my car is not very good. But I do have a way to accelerate. Let's adjust that. It looks like my wheel is messed up, so we just got to change the sensitivity for it. They have it turned so high. It's made for if we were to plug this into an actual arcade cabinet, it would work correctly. But since we're not playing on a real arcade cabinet, it's going to control a little different. All right, so let's turn that around, and we are moving. This is our very first multi-screen game. The game, every game we've seen so far has been played on one screen. This one's actually scrolling through, so I really want to verify the date this came out. This is the most revolutionary game we've seen ever on the channel. The fact that it's moving around, and I'm imagining that there's something else past the screen on the other side. Oh, let's go up gears. I'm going so slow. There we go. I'm staying in gear 1. That's why the screen's moving so slow. How fast can we make this thing scroll? No, faster. Faster. There we go. It is only one player, but... Oh, did I go the wrong way? Oh, I think I did. The fact that we're seeing multiple things on the screen and we're able to drive around, this is awesome. All right, I'm not going to crash. Oh, I didn't want to see that. So bad. Oh, so rough. All right, that is the best game we've seen so far. I actually want to verify the date. I scour the internet and manuals to see if this stuff is correct. Let's look at the manual again. Does the manual have the date? Was Superbug really 1977? Give me a date. Oh my gosh, it was. All right, this one we're cranking it up. Guys, this is a 4.5-star game. I can't believe we have a video game that is going past one screen in 1977. So Superbug, that's pretty impressive.